Hi, I'm Cece. I'm one of the registered dietitians with Kanema Fitness. I'm here today for the month of June to talk about pre and post exercise fueling. Before we work out, we want to make sure our body is in a fed state. So that means that we want to make sure that we had a meal within the past 4 hours. If you're eating a meal within 4 hours of exercising, the timing of your meal is going to determine what components of different food groups are in that meal. So if it is about 4 hours before exercise, you can have a complete meal. If you've been following along with my series, you know that a complete meal consists of a carbohydrate, fruits and vegetables with fiber, and a lean source of protein. So those are the three big components of a complete meal. So that's if you're in that 4 hours, 3 to 4 hour window before exercise. If you're getting a little bit closer to your workout and it's maybe about 2 hours before exercise, that's when you want to focus on having a quick snack. So that snack is going to be a combination of a carbohydrate and a lean protein. You also want to make sure that it is moderate in fat, so not too high in fat, and it also is moderate in fiber. So we want to choose foods that aren't extremely high in fiber pre-workout, the closer we get to that workout. Fiber and fat are going to cause a little bit more GI upset because they stay in the stomach longer periods of time. That's why they're great tools, especially fiber, in helping achieve weight loss if that is an ultimate goal, because it can help you reduce the volume of food by making you feel fuller for longer. The next period of time we want to talk about is if you're eating something maybe that 30-minute mark before exercise, that is great, especially if you haven't eaten previous. This is especially important for people who are exercising first thing in the morning. You want to make sure that you're having some source of carbohydrate. The type of carbohydrate you have can differ based off of your food preferences or maybe what is medically necessary for you and your health goals. Examples of carbohydrates before an exercise could be as simple as a banana or maybe an apple, a quick piece of fruit. You can also have maybe an energy bar that isn't too high in protein, fat, or fiber. Like fat and fiber, protein stays in the stomach and the GI tract for a little bit longer, less than fat and fiber, but still longer than carbs. So that's why 30 minutes or so before workout, I'd recommend sticking with a food that's more of a carb source rather than a protein food. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable during your workout, and I want to make sure that you're able to achieve all of your physical goals. And so if you're experiencing GI discomfort, that might limit you from as much as you're able to do in the gym. The reason why carbohydrates are beneficial leading up to your workout is because that is your body's primary fuel source. Your body is going to try to break down all of the substrates in your body into glucose, which ultimately is sugar. So when you eat that carbohydrate, it is readily available to have glucose in your body. If you're only having protein or maybe a fat, your body's gonna find a way to convert those macronutrients into glucose. So it's gonna work even harder than you already are working in your workout. So that's why you wanna have the carbohydrate where the glucose is readily available. The amount of carbohydrate that an individual needs varies person to person. So that's why speaking with a registered dietitian about your individual goals is always the best option. So to get on with our recipe, we're gonna talk a little bit about post-workout fueling. So today's recipe is going to be a dense bean salad. We have lots of vegetables in this, and we have some beans for protein. And what's great about this salad is that it is a base. So you can really use this in multiple different ways to add to a meal, or you can make this more of a snack, and you can really customize this generic recipe to make it your own based off of your preferences. This is more of a Mediterranean base of it, and we can talk about examples of things that you can add to it to make it more complete. But what I like about this recipe is that it's quick, easy, simple, and you can prepare it ahead of time so you have it depending on the amount that you prepare for maybe even the week. So I've already done most of the preparation for this just for the ease of the video. And so I'm gonna show you what I've already done. So I've chopped up all of my vegetables. So in this bowl, I have my diced cucumbers, my diced tomatoes, my chopped celery, and my diced red onion. So I chopped it up very finely, and I think it makes it a little bit more fun and just kind of exciting and something different than the usual shapes that you might have of these vegetables. I also have very finely chopped up some Kalamata olives and pepperoncini. So I have that all set. And then I used some canned beans. So I've already rinsed them and washed them and dried them a little bit. And so when I buy beans, I look for the low sodium version just to reduce that overall sodium intake. And so I have garbanzo beans or chickpeas, whatever you want to call them. So I have them the low sodium version and I rinse them so that reduces the sodium content by 50%. And I also have cannellini beans as well. And then with you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and make the dressing. So in this jar, I went ahead and I added some minced garlic and I added some parsley and basil. So I'm gonna put the dressing in this jar just for ease of preparation. And what you can do when you're preparing this ahead of time, you can make it in the jar and save the dressing in the jar depending on when you anticipate eating the salad. If you're planning on eating it kind of throughout the week, maybe putting it in the jar is the best option and then putting it on your individual portions later on when you're ready to eat it. Or if you think it's probably only going to last a few days in the fridge, then you can put the dressing right on the salad. Up to you. I'm going to put it in the jar and then toss it in the salad for today because I'm probably going to eat this a little bit more quickly. And like I said, if it's in the fridge for a longer period of time, then maybe you don't put the dressing on it so you don't get the salad too soggy. So like I said, I have garlic, I have minced parsley, and I have some basil in here. We're gonna continue to add on to this dressing. So I'm gonna take some olive oil. So I have extra virgin olive oil and I'm just gonna pour it into this jar. And I'm also gonna take some white balsamic vinaigrette. I'm doing a 2-to-1 ratio, so 2 parts olive oil, 1 part vinaigrette, because I'm also gonna add some extra flavor from the juice of the Kalamata olives. So I think it's just gonna add a little bit extra spice and flavor. So I'm just pouring a little bit in just to give it a kick. And then I also have the juice of a lemon. So I'm gonna take half a lemon and pour it straight into the dressing jar. You can see. And then I'm gonna take the other half and put it on my salad bowl. That way the flavors kind of get to marinate in with the lemon juice and the acidity of the lemon juice. Depending on your portion, maybe you take the juice of a whole lemon and put it in the jar, or maybe 1.5 and then the other half into the salad bowl. But I'm only using half for the dressing for today just because of the portion size that I'm working with. Okay, so that is all set. So now, because I'm all done with that, I'm gonna mix up my dressing. And the beauty of having this in a jar is that I get to just shake it. So I'm just gonna make sure that this jar is secured tightly. I'm gonna shake it so it mixes all together. Okay. Let's take a quick sniff. It smells flavorful. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the ingredients in this salad before I pour the dressing on, and we're also gonna talk about things that we can add to it. So like I said, I have lots of vegetables in here. This is good sources of fiber. Beans are really high in fiber as well. So this is a high fiber snack or meal, depending on what you're using it for. And the beans are also providing us with protein. So as this salad is right here, I would probably consider it a side or a snack. You can bulk it up to give you a little bit more calories, to make it a more complete meal by maybe adding either rice or quinoa or maybe even pita bread, so some sort of carbohydrate with it. The beans are providing some carbohydrates, but if this is after an exercise, I really would encourage you to eat another carb source with it. After exercise, we want to focus on two things: carbohydrates to refuel your body with everything you just lost, and protein to repair the muscles that were broken down through your exercise. So like I said, the beans are gonna provide some carbohydrates, maybe not as much as you want post-exercise, but they're also gonna provide some protein as well. You're getting some carbohydrates from the vegetables, but the real big benefit is more so of the micronutrients that you're getting from the vegetables, as well as some additional fiber. And then all the rest of the ingredients are more so just for taste. So like I said, I would add some sort of carbohydrate. So a pita bread, maybe rice, or maybe quinoa. If you're adding quinoa, you also get extra protein with that too. You can add another base, so you can add a bed of lettuce with it as well to make it more of a salad. You can maybe add a sandwich, or you can even make this into a wrap and use the tortilla as your carbohydrate source to make it a little bit more complete. You can even add some extra condiments like hummus, giving you a little bit more protein, a little bit more texture and creaminess with it. Maybe you add some feta cheese for extra calories and extra calcium and extra flavor. Maybe you add tzatziki for some extra protein if you're using it with a Greek yogurt base. So really the options are endless. You can even add some meat on top of this too. So it's a really good base option for a snack or a meal. So we're gonna continue on with this preparation. So I have the bowl with our vegetables. I'm gonna go ahead and add the olives and the pepperoncini into this and right into the center. So we have this going on right here. And then we're gonna add our garbanzo beans. Just put it all on the top. And then we have our cannellini beans. I'm gonna put this in right here. And then I am going to go ahead and drizzle my dressing. Okay. Now I'm just I forgot to grab my utensil, so I'm gonna run really quickly, grab a utensil and mix this all together and get ready to serve it. Okay, so I got some tongs, just making it a little bit easier for myself to mix it all together. It looks so delicious. I'll give you a view. So like I said, this is a dense bean salad. It's just preparing you up for the week or maybe the next few days or the next couple meals. It's high in fiber, good source of protein. You can always intensify the amount of protein you're getting with it by adding chicken or adding quinoa. I still would add an extra carbohydrate like rice or maybe a pita or maybe quinoa, and for the extra protein as well. But look how good this looks. Delicious. And it's a fun summer, poolside snack too. And a great easy thing to bring to a party if you need to bring a side, and just high in micronutrients and high in fiber with a good amount of protein. Let's get this serving. Let's look at this. Delicious. Okay, so to recap, the things we want to focus about pre and post workout. Pre-workout, make sure you have carbohydrates leading up to your workout. Make sure you're in a fed state. 4 hours before, full meal. 2 to 3 hours before, protein plus carbohydrate snack. Low in fat, low in fiber. 30 minutes to an hour before, that's gonna be our carbohydrates. So focusing on maybe low fiber fruits. Post-workout, that's when you wanna replenish your body with the carbohydrates and repair your muscles with protein. So that's today's tip for the month. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Always happy to help. And I hope you enjoy the recipe. Have a great rest of your day.